Let's go back.
You go into Parker, there's a little convenient store.
I've eaten there. There's a kind of, it's like
Yeah.
a diner in there too.
You
Right.
ask
I've been
them
there.
about Jim Brownback, and
Not
I
today.
bet you 80% of the people walk in there and say he's a, you know
Right.
what.
Because when you
So-
see him out and around,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and I'll run into him at the really liquor store and everything, you ask how I was going, his only reply is, staying one step ahead of the law.
That's what the Brownback guy says?
That's what Jim says all the time
Oh,
when
yeah.
you,
Or years ago, he'd say, it's the name. It's the name.
Yeah.
He always says that.
but yeah, the other liquor store that night, when he said that, he's, oh, staying one step ahead of the law. And I thought,
And so you think he's trafficked in the Brownback name to get away with stuff?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
done.
my mind.
Yeah.
He's even told guys that nobody can touch me.
Oh, yeah.
I am old. 2012, I got a 40. He borders this 40. It'd be on the north end of his place. I got a 40. He borders me on 3 sides. I had 2 second calf heifers right before the calf got over on him. So I seen Jim and I said, Jim, I got 2 heifers over on you. I wonder if I could stop and get them out somehow, or you can get them out, or I can, or I'll come up and I'll bring some panels up here where he feeds some grain to his cows. I can set them panels up. And he said, no, I don't want you to set many panels up here. He said, I'll get them in later on this fall down there, and I'll call you when I get them in. And I said, well, I'd like to get them out of there because they're about ready to calve. I know he was wanting the rest of my cattle. Yeah, okay, I told the sheriff about this. This is why I told him about it last spring. I just came off of,
This is the new sheriff.
yeah. And he had been over to Patty Summers' house, and I was coming over to the ground I ran off of you guys. And I pulled in there and the sheriff came in, and I told him about this story. Mark Drennan, he's a highway patrolman, a good friend of Bob Brownback's.
Okay.
The sheriff contacted Mark Drennan. Mark goes and talks to Jim and says, Jim, you get Ben Kocher's cattle back. Now you're on the verge of going to jail. This is last April. I was hauling some cattle into the vet to get them worked. The sheriff called me and said, Jim Brownback will be contacting you shortly. And he told me what Mark Drennan had told him. That was in April, for around the 1st of April. I haven't heard from Jim Brownback.
It's
That's why
all
I said
right.
he's titillated by harassing us. He finds it funny.
What would you, if you could wave your magic wand, what do you want to have happen? What's the fix? What would you like to see?
Stop shooting guns outside of my house in the
That's a
middle
good
of the night.
start.
And keep us safe and keep us emotionally safe, as well as physically.